What was the most horrifying moment you experienced at your high school? That happened when I was a teacher. A 14-year-old student who no one at school ever thought anything was wrong with went home one Wednesday afternoon. He was a good student, always had high grades and never caused any trouble. He asked his mom for some money and told her he was going to see his friends. But instead, he went to the railroad, jumped in front of a train, and ended his life. No one could believe it. There hadn't been any signs. One of his classmates mentioned his girlfriend had just broken up with him, but he never talked about it. Only after the police searched his computer did it become clear he couldn't cope with the breakup. He had written all kinds of upsetting things about his feelings and his plans, so we had an explanation. But it was still shocking that someone who seemed so normal on the outside was so deeply hurt on the inside. A few months later, his parents visited the school. They told us they had known he was going through a hard time, but his decision was as surprising to them as it was to us. About 3 years later, I transferred to another school in the same area. I never forgot what happened, and I always tried to remind my students how important it was to talk about their feelings. I often used this story as an example. One day, I was teaching Dutch, and we were reading a text about someone who had taken their own life. I shared my experience and mentioned what had happened 3 years earlier. Then a girl quietly said, "That was my brother."